Hello, everybody, and welcome to Friday Night Live. Looks like, hey, there's Ed. It looks like we've got most of the band together here this evening. Um, my name's Phil. I'm the director of operations, and I still have a little bit of a frog in my throat, I believe, from Gen Con because I totally lost my voice out there last week. And I am on a family vacation now, not too far from Ron's house, quite honestly. Or herky jerky at some point. But regardless, we are here this evening, folks, to enjoy each other's company and to talk with our two guests this evening. But first, Ed, how are you this evening?
Well, I've been running around like a crazy man. You sure the frog isn't from the Moat House?
Maybe, but I'm bumped.
Yeah, old school joke. I've been working on a crazy number of disparate things, including the Book of Encounters and Book of Lost Pages. I am overdue getting some stuff out to people, but it looks like we've got a bunch of submissions, and sounds like we're going to get some help with the cartography, which will be nice.
Yeah, a lot of people are looking forward to that, and I think it's going to be great. Just like our show's going to be great tonight. We have Ryan Morgan from the Old School Rules YouTube channel. Who's also basically a founding member of Page, who's had a lot to do with how Page started and what it's become today. And we have a lot to owe to Ryan. And we have Anjuli Smith coming to us at 2:30 in the morning UK time, who did come down with some con crud at Gen Con, and she is hurting. And speaking of hurting, Jen has a severe case of double pink eye going right now.
I do not.
I don't know. I don't know. I think you do.
I'm fine.
All right. Well, we're going to get right to it because Ryan is on a clock, and normally we wouldn't have put Ryan first because Anjuli is suffering being up in the middle of the night in England. But Ryan has somebody bearing down on him and demanding his time and attention to take her to dinner. So we're going to get that out of the way because we don't want Ryan being a domestic violence victim. So we're going to go ahead and bring on Ryan. And there he is. Hey, Ryan, how are you?
Gentlemen, lady, good evening.
Do me a favor, blink twice if you are unsafe right now.
I'm doing just fine. Thank you very much. But
okay.
Got to keep, happy wife, happy life. That's definitely rules to live by, and I'm sure you know that as well.
Oh, you know what? I don't have two files that say divorce on them in my filing cabinet here because I've learned that all that well. But that's okay.
Third time's a charm.
Yes.
Better late than never, brother. Better late than never.
First time's for love, second time's for money, third time's for desperation. Yes.
Well, third time's a charm for you. You got a good one.
Oh, okay. Well, Ryan.
Yes, sir.
You've got a lot going on. What do you want to talk about first? Do you want to talk about the RPG Collectors Barter Group live stream game you're doing? You want to talk about Old School Rules? You want to talk about the formative years of Page? What do you want to talk about first?
Well, you mentioned my channel, and for folks who don't know, I'll say briefly about that. My passion is old vintage RPG fanzines, and I do a video every Friday for those who enjoy that. And then beyond that, I like to talk about things in my collection, just sort of randomly, so you never know what you're going to get. I've been doing a lot of stuff on Judges Guild, but I also cover a lot of stuff, just random other things, all sort of vintage D&D related stuff from the 70s and 80s is what I like to talk about on that channel. So if that's stuff you guys like to watch, my wife says it'll put you to sleep. Other people say it's soothing. Just depends on how you take it. But that channel is just a fun hobby for me. And then let's talk about the live stream, because that's the new thing. It's an initiative from the Facebook group that Ron started, the Collectors and Barters group, which is a great group and a good way to grow your collection and learn about your collection. And we have a good group of players. We've just gotten started. We've done 2 sessions. We're trying to go about once a month. We probably go 3 or 4 hours. This was session 2 is our last session. Session 3 will be coming up on Thursday, the 20th of this month. And I'm DMing a campaign for a great group of guys, Andrew, Brian, Matt, Adam, and Tom. And they have started out that campaign by being summoned by a wizard, nothing stereotypical at all about my campaign. And they've gone and found a mysterious tower that was in the shape of a hand. And Ryan Thompson wrote a great, I need to mention this on the next stream, adventure called Hand of Horla that I got from him years ago. And it's a really cool, tiny adventure you can drop into anything you're playing. And so I've just tweaked that ever so slightly and used that. And that's where the guys went the first time to find some ancient books for this wizard. And then we're getting into, basically it's a homebrew story and an open world map for them to explore on. They're going to have some options of where they're going to go. I don't have any idea what they'll choose to do, but I like to give players choices and then make them, choose. And life has consequences. You can't do all the quests that are available in a world. You can't be a hero everywhere at once. And so it's going pretty good, I think. And I think, Ron, I thank you for coming up with the idea of doing it. Hopefully it's a way for folks who haven't seen AD&D first edition being played before to kind of get a sense of, I think it's a fairly typical game or campaign, and get a sense of what that's like. And who knows, maybe we'll involve some other people at some point in the campaign. I'm always interested by those DMs who talk about, like Frank, right, has talked about, and Gary talked about early days, right, where they had like 20, 30, 40 people playing in their campaign. And obviously they didn't all show up at once, but they designed campaigns in a way that allowed all these different people to be part of the world. I've never done that. But I always think I'm always impressed by people who do stuff like that. So anyway, that's what I got going on, and looking forward to page 4. Next year I will, be doing the same thing I've always done, which I learned because I had a couple people come back 2 years in a row. I need to be aware of that issue, right? Which is people may like it so much they come back for more. And so I will make that adjustment in my session I like to run there. And it's always a good time at Page, Ron, because I get AD&D people been playing since the 80s, and I get people who've never played AD&D first edition come and play at my game in Page. And so it's a lot of fun, and it's always a good time to get to see people. And of course we do the auction at Page, and that's always a lot of fun as well. I think it's a good chance for people to pick up all kinds. The stuff that we get through there is anything from, stuff to round out your collection to really high-end stuff for people who are interested in that. There you are. There's the channel.
One of the things we're going to do this year with the auction is we're going to have an auction store, because we get so many things in, and people are so generous with the donations because they know where they go. It goes to our charitable initiative, our gamer assistance program, which we put out, quite a bit of money every year to help gamers and game designers and folks related to the industry in need. That the money that's raised during that auction is important, but sometimes we're going like deep into the night because we have some, I don't want to call them lesser things, but maybe not as rare things, and we'd like to put those in the store at a firm fixed price and let people just walk up and buy them. No different than buying merchandise. So that's what we're doing this year, and we're prepared to do that, and real happy with that. So Ryan, I know you have a limited time tonight. Is there anything else you wanted to touch base on? Our next guest, I'm going to bring her on before you go off.
Sure.
Go off to your dinner tonight. However, she's from England, and I know a lot of the fanzines you look for are probably sitting in old dusty boxes in game stores in Great Britain. So maybe you make that contact, and you can find somebody to look for things for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I could geek out on fanzines and put everybody else to sleep here, but for whatever reason, right, in the UK, they had a huge production of these fanzines, much more so than we did here in the US, even though obviously the game was started here and we had a lot of stuff going for us here. Those UK stuff, like it's what you said, Ron. I found some people and they're like, "Oh, I got stuff in my garage," and I'm like, "Oh, please go out and get in your garage." But I know what it's like they're like, "I don't want to dig through that stuff's buried in there." But if they did, man, that stuff would be gold. I've told someone recently, I had this list of what I wanted, and if you've noticed, plug for the collectors group on Facebook, we put that want list Wednesday on there, where you can tell people what you're looking for. And if you looked at my most recent one where I list my fanzines, I mean, it goes on and on, because when you read these fanzines, they sometimes talk about other fanzines that are out there that maybe they traded with each other, whatever. And my list actually of what I need or I'm missing or looking for, it gets bigger over time instead of smaller, even though I acquire stuff as quickly as I can find it. It's like you say, I would 75%, maybe 80% of those fanzines are coming from the UK. And so it's really lopsided. Now a lot of those fanzines, run 2 to 4 issues and then they're gone, but still incredibly productive group.
I had a kind of question that dovetails with one of the questions in chat. Michael in chat said, "I've noticed a renaissance of zines in the modern day. How does Ryan compare the current scene to the ones from the golden days?" And I was going to sort of add on to that. It seems like a number of successful games, particularly things like Kickstarters, like Shadow Dark, Dark Space, whatever, are doing a lot of zines. And it's funny because, we even had professional magazines like Dragon, Dungeon, all these other ones have just died or gone online or some combination thereof. But now it seems like a lot of the small publishers are doing that. Do you see anything like that going on? Is that?
Yeah, I think there is a renaissance of that. It started around the same time as the OSR, and it's kind of gone up and down, I think. Sort of like there was a lot and then less, and I think now more again. But I think, the one thing that's definitely different today, it's so easy to do. Just like it's so easy to publish. I mean, relatively, Ron can speak. I think it's relatively easier to get your product published and shared with other players today. Back in the 70s, 80s, people they were making the stuff in their basement. You can just tell, right, for the most part. Now they might have taken it to a printer, had it assembled there. I know Mike Stoner, who did the Beholder, which is one of the premier high-end amateur fanzines. They took their stuff and they talk about the different covers because they were going to a printer and they would just use whatever color cardstock he had to print off their covers, and then they would, get them stapled and they'd mail them out. But a lot of these things, it just looks like, 16, some of them were 16, 17-year-old kids in their basement. And so one of the things I'd noticed is I think that it's a lot easier to put together a fancier zine today because you've got the technology and the publishing software and all that kind of stuff that you just didn't have back then. So I think the thing that's the same, which is great, is that these are just drawing from the hobby, everyday hobbyists' ideas, whether that's new magic items or just, philosophy of being a DM, whatever it might be. In some of the conversations you see, it's kind of fascinating. If you go back and get out alarms and excursions from the 70s, they're having the same conversations about types of play, types of players, what it means to be a good GM, the philosophy of your game, game balance, all these kind of like it's old is new again kind of thing. But most people playing from the 90s to today never read an issue of Alarms and Excursions, and so they haven't read those conversations, right? And so I like that continuity that you see between the old and the new as well.
My eyes are still bleeding from reading Lee Gold stuff. So
yeah,
from back in the old days. But it's interesting, and we're going to bring Anjuli on in a moment. But it was interesting where you talked about how the whatever cardstock the printer had, that's what they used for the covers. Way back when I first started running conventions in the early 1990s, 1991 to be exact, in 92, it was literally whatever was like laying around my office, right? I was out of school, finally got my first job, and whatever stuff was sitting dusty on the bottom shelf, it became the covers of those pre-registration books that would get mailed out to people. And it didn't matter what color they were. I didn't care as long as they weren't the same paper as the rest of it.
Do you know why people are buying fanzines? That sounds like a dumb question in a way, but with all the stuff you can get on the internet, you can do a search or whatever for things. I like getting fanzines. I have a whole shelf devoted to them upstairs, which of course is sure much less than you and Ron and everything. But, especially with, some of the newer stuff that's been coming out, I enjoy having them, and I know sort of why I buy them, but I'm old, why do you think other people buy them instead of just grabbing stuff off of the internet?
Well, for the old stuff, it is largely not available on the internet, or I have not found it, because trust me, I've tried to find stuff.
Sure, I'm meaning more like the new stuff that's coming out. The fact that people can publish fanzines now and actually sell them.
Yeah, and I think it's the OSR. They're old dudes and gals like us who remember books and like the smell of books and the feel of books and all that kind of stuff, right? And so I think everything about that nostalgia is there in my view, which is why people, just like I told you that adventure from Ryan Thompson, like I could have just gotten a PDF, but I didn't. I said, I know, send me the little, the adventure module in the mail, and I want to open it up and flip back and forth. And I've got my iPad and I do all the kinds of stuff with technology, but just personally, I'll never not want to have a book, with a hardcover and pages that I can turn.
100% agreed. 100% agreed. Now, I'm going to bring on Anjuli Smith from from myminifactory.com. She's also a special guest at Page this year. She's in England, so it's pushing almost 3:00 in the morning there. We're gonna bring her on. Oh my God, she's nodded off. She's got her head down on her desk. What's going on? Oh my God, is she okay? Oh, there she is.
Wake her up and tell her so she can tell us about all the fanzines she's going to find for us in the UK. That's what put her to sleep, I think, when we drifted over into that topic.
No, not at all. I was just thinking, like, there must be a lot of them, like where I am in Nottingham, because Nottingham is sort of like that gaming hub, and it used to be an old printer town. Obviously, Games Workshop is here in Livingston, and Steve Jackson used to bought D&D over to the UK. It's like there's probably like a lot here somewhere hidden in a lot of
garages, parents' attics. That's the kind of places where I tend to hear people tell me they have collections, but they're not really. I'm always trying to encourage them, like, why don't you go, find that collection and make me a happy guy? But for the most part, it's just never worth their effort. They're not as enthusiastic about that stuff as I am, but that's okay. Someday I got to get on a airplane and fly over to and just like hit the yard sales or walk around town with a sign or something like that and see if I can't shake some of those loose.
Yeah, we don't really do yard sales here, so don't do that.
Oh, really? Interesting.
No, it's not really a thing. I think it's always raining and cold. Most of the time.
No, wait a minute. I'm besieged on YouTube with stories about the heat wave that
Okay,
is
yeah, it's
hit
really hot
Great
at the moment,
Britain, and nobody has air conditioning,
Yeah.
and it's changing everything, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Is that
Yes, it is hot now at the moment. But it did rain
I don't
from
know if that's gonna-
November until May.
well,
Yeah, I
I'm-
don't know if that'll
No,
lead them to
it's
take
not
up
great.
yard sales.
I'm
That's
really-
it may be a cultural phenomenon. I hadn't even thought about that, but
Car boot
that's-
sales.
Yeah, we do car boot sales on a Sunday morning car boot sales, and we have a lot of charity shops and things that sell some of those things off. But yeah, no, like yard sales. Not something I've yet experienced on all of my American
Yeah.
trips.
It's
Yeah.
I lived in Britain for 2 years. A car boot sale is a yard sale. It's the same thing.
Yeah, but do you have 2 miles of car boot sales or 5 miles of car boot sales? Because in my home state of West Virginia, you'll see those signs pop up late summer, early fall. And that is perhaps a very unique American phenomenon as you drive from one rural house to the next, stopping to see what junk they're trying to hand off to the new owners.
Yes, yeah, ours are mainly like someone hires a field and everyone brings their car with as much stuff as they can fit in it, and then you just put all your stuff out at a car and you just spend the whole day until they close walking up and down trying to get bargains.
Ooh.
And they
All
happen
right.
like once a month in various places across the UK.
Now,
Don't you also have some version of flea market? I don't remember. I lived over there for a little while too, but I can't remember.
We have like they're like antiques markets and things that we do have, yeah. In various areas. Normally like the posher areas have little antiques marketplaces.
Okay.
Things, 'cause it's like
you-
down
you-
Ron,
south.
your fans want to talk to her about all her mini painting.
Yeah, well, I was just going to bring that up. She is a fantastic miniature painter, and now I'm going to put her on the spot.
I know.
You know, we have, the Philadelphia Area Gaming Expo is a nonprofit, and we have a charity auction every year, and there's all sorts of cool stuff donated for the charity auction. Can we get you to donate a painted piece for the charity auction for us?
Easy peasy. Yep, I can do that.
Oh, make sure whether diorama, whatever it's going to be, make sure you take pictures for us, and we'll wet everybody's whistle on what they're going to be getting. We have Stephen Reeder who paints something for us every year. Stephen's a catalog miniature painter here in the U.S. He works for companies like Ralph Partha Legacy and things like that. But yeah, the more the merrier. And fun fact, I think Ron has more painted fantasy miniatures than, I don't know, maybe anyone.
Yeah. So, do you like old? I have a question. Says one of my many things I went through in collecting. Do you like old lead, or do you like something more modern to paint?
I do quite like the pewter ones. I think that the finish when you paint in is a little bit nicer. I don't know why, but the paint just seems to settle on them a lot nicer. So it's got a better matte. But as I work for a 3D printing company, I should probably also say, yeah, resin. But, no, I prefer like a pewter, and I like them when they're like handmade, like the hand sculpted. They just have a lot more character. I think they're always a little bit chunkier and but
Here's
I like the weight. I like the weight of
my,
those lead
here's my
miniatures.
dumb question. What do you use to glue them together? I just recently I painted lead and pewter miniatures a long time ago, and then I've been painting plastic. But recently I picked up some like pewter lead mix ones, and boy, I was having a hard time gluing them together.
you have to pin them. So you have to get a little drill and like a little bit of paper clip.
That's what I ended up doing. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, there's nothing that you could just stick them together. That is one of the advantages to resin, I would say.
I totally disagree that you need to pin everything.
I have found that if I don't, then I'll come back to it like a month later, and it will have just an arm on the floor.
listen, Zap.
We don't all have welder's tools, Ron.
No. Zip Kicker is the greatest stuff ever.
I use that a lot. Yeah.
Okay. And if you've ever gotten it on your hand when you've had super glue on your hand at the same time, and then you end up with like a hole in your hand, you know why it works so well. But I tend not to have problems with stuff falling off. Though I will admit, I had a William Wallace look-alike miniature, and the damn sword kept falling out of his hand over and over and over again, no matter what I did. So eventually I made him true to life, and I quartered the miniature and just put the pieces on the base and said, oh, here's a William Wallace miniature now. So
Drawn and quartered.
was that too much? Was that too too much information?
Historical.
Michael Pastor says, I thought I heard it, that Appalachian accent in Ryan. Of course, Michael's a Yinzer from Pittsburgh, so
okay.
The only people they can look down upon are the people from West Virginia.
Not at all, dude. I spent a little time in Pittsburgh when I was a kid. Squirrel Hill.
Yeah, Squirrel Hill. I love Squirrel Hill. So, one of the greatest neighborhoods on the face of the earth, right there. There's my wife, supportive as always. Or I could just wear gloves when you work with them. No, I'm not going to do that. But okay, Ryan, what do you want to leave us with? Because I can hear. I just heard your vehicle start outside.
Yeah. The clock's ticking.
And I hear the car horn going off.
Yeah. No, I'll hop off of here and let you talk to a much more interesting guest. But I will say to folks, if you're not doing it, I encourage you to find some YouTube channels. There's so many out there, people talking about all kinds of different things have to do with their hobby. And so support those folks and find something that you find interesting that you can watch or listen to while you're driving, walking, exercising, stuff like that. And come to conventions, because this is my last plug. So I never been to, when I was a little kid, I used to dream about going to Gen Con. But that was not happening for me as a kid. And so I'd never been to a convention until Ron told me he was going to try and start this convention called Page. And obviously it helped him very little. He's given me way too much credit for that. But I helped him very little.
That's not true. That's not true. You're being too modest.
I was glad to come. It was very exciting. We got some snow. I got to play with Frank Mincer, and I've gotten to play with some other great people. Hung out with Jeff D for a little while, one of my little artist heroes when I was a kid. If you haven't done it, go to conventions. And if you're already doing it, obviously you'll probably keep going because it's lots of fun. But I'd encourage people to go to conventions, get to meet great people like our guest this evening, and enjoy people in the hobby. It's been really invigorating for me to have a chance to do that. And I'm glad I'm doing it. I'm going to keep doing it as long as I'm able, which hopefully be a long, long time. So that's what I'll leave you with. And
just one note, Ed, you suggested that I might have a lot of fanzines. I usually source fanzines for Ryan. I don't generally keep them because I have a lot of printed stuff as it is, and but I move some stuff to Ryan from time to time when I come across it. But Ryan, thanks for being with us tonight.
Yes,
and
sir.
We're gonna let you go and keep you out of the courtroom, and we will see you soon.
Yes, sir. See you all around. Thanks for joining us this evening. Bye now.
All right. So now we have Anjuli all to ourselves. So, one of the things that Ryan said that I think is important, and I'm gonna reiterate it right now. We are we are less than a few subscribers away from a milestone here at on our little fledgling YouTube channel. And I really ask that everybody who's watching on all the different platforms we have, we're streaming to Facebook, we're streaming to Twitch, we're streaming to multiple YouTube channels. If you could click this link and subscribe and help push us over the top, we'd really appreciate it. And another thing that Ryan said that Phil and I have been kicking around, and I've really been thinking about it a lot lately, but sometime in September or very early October, Phil and I are going to be adding a program to this channel, and the program's going to be called What We Are Backing. And it's basically going to be talking about upcoming Kickstarters, especially from our friends, because we were friends with so many people in the industry, and folks involved with Page and otherwise, and what we're looking forward that's out there on the different crowdfunding platforms. And it's something I'm pretty excited about, and I've been really thinking about it recently, and Phil and I have talked about it a few times over the past year, and I'm determined to get that started. And what do you think, Phil? Late September, we'll put it on the schedule?
I'm game. Sure, why not? I love talking about crowdfunders. It's one of my favorite topics to talk about.
Do you have a specific day and time yet?
We're going to look and see when your live streams are and do it right then on the Blind Bard channel.
All right. Thanks.
No, we don't. No, we haven't done that. We haven't decided on anything yet, but it'll be during the week sometime. I don't know when it'll be.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Neil says he likes backing Kickstarters.
I like the question for Anjuli. What things are trending across the pond that we should be interested in that we might not know about?
Oh, that's a great question.
I think a lot of the stuff, because everything is like, oh, that's my face, really big. Because everything is so like worldwide now. Like obviously, Dungeon Crawler Carl is just massive everywhere, US, UK. Everyone's gone a bit nutso for it, which is great. As an RPG, I'm very lucky that where I live in Nottingham, we've got a lot of indie creators, and there's a lot of support for indie creators here in the UK because we're so much smaller, and we don't have as many shows going on. A lot of our indie creators get a lot of space, which is really lovely to see. I like Soul Muppets is a really lovely Nottingham-based indie RPG company that I really adore. So if you haven't checked out Soul Muppets, go check them out. Rook, Rowan, and Deckard as well are also a great indie. Again, well, London-based, but they're also really good fun as well. I don't know what is
that one.
I like Rowan, Rook, and Deckard. They do. So that's Grant Howitt. He does the like one-page RPGs like Sexy Battle Wizard and such and the like, and Honey Heist and those type of things. But they also do bigger games as well, like Spire and stuff. And they're great. I love them, and they're really wonderful people as well.
You were talking about Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Look, we're twinsies.
We are. Oh,
I just printed this out for a friend of mine this week, and she's a fanatic for Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Yes. So I like Comic-Con and Gen Con were just mad for it. I learned that 1 in 6 people that were at Gen Con last weekend, were there because they backed the Dungeon Crawler Carl RPG. And that's their sole reason for going to Gen Con, because they did so many activations at Gen Con. And of those 1 in 6, 50% of them had never been to a gaming show of any type in their whole lives.
Wow.
like that,
Um,
like quarter car is gone crazy, and like the amount of people that were there dressed up, the amount of people who were just there, never experienced anything like it before. It was insane. I went to the live show to see the mechanics for the game.
It,
It was very, very good.
it's funny because I was with TSR, during the bankruptcy years, and worked on third edition, which saw sort of a resurgence, but we never hit like the crazy numbers they've got now. And one of the big reasons was now, tabletop games in general and RPGs in particular are becoming much more mainstream, or at least the culture around them.
Yep.
Dungeon Crawler Carl, the D&D movie, lots of fantasy stuff on TV and movies.
And all the actual plays as well that are going on, like
Yeah.
it's much more easily accessible for people. And even if you don't have friend groups that want to play, you can be involved in the culture just by watching the actual plays and being part of those communities that are cropping up as well. I was just in Edinburgh just before my trip to San Diego at the Critical Role event where they hired out Edinburgh Castle, and they did a live show, 10,000 people.
Wow.
It was like they were like rock stars. It was completely insane and wonderful. People were dressed up. People, I wasn't dressed up, but like just sitting there with just thousands of critters. The theme tune came on and everyone was singing along to it. Like it was.
Well, that's very much a British thing, right? To sing along at live events, right? Whether it was a Ricky Hatton boxing match or a soccer game or football match.
Football, yes.
At the pitch. Brits love to sing. They love to sing, and I think a lot of it's alcohol driven, but that's okay. We're not judging. Jen.
Yes.
I know you have a load of questions for Anjuli.
I do.
Okay.
So, I know that you're hosting like 3 panels at Page. One of them's like talking about STL files, and the other 2 are kind of world building. Do you want to talk about those?
Oh, yes. So yeah, I mean, I don't know who's going to be on my panels yet, so I haven't decided on that. So any guests who are watching who are like, hey, I can talk about that, please do let me know. But yeah, the STL one. So obviously, I work for My Mini Factory. We're like the world's biggest platform for STL files, and so I consider myself somewhat of an expert in the field. We've moved into the tabletop gaming industry, and that's meant that exactly.
I get a bunch of stuff off the Mini Factory. Yeah.
Yay! But I mean, I've been using My Mini Factory from before I was working for them. When I was a Twitch influencer type, I would do stuff with them when they first launched, and then they finally said, "Hey, how about we pay you some money to do marketing?" And I said, "Yes, I like money." But so what I want to dive into with all of the panels is like how things are affecting like the TTRPG side of things. So with the STL files, I want to dive into how 3D printing at home is affecting the table, and that idea of theatre of the mind. I've always been because I do a lot of my stuff online now with Start Playing. Mine is a very theatre of the mind. But it never used to be. When I was at the table, we would have miniatures and things, and that's how I got into painting miniatures, was that my party, as well as me running and writing the campaigns, I would also have to find the miniatures and paint the miniatures for them, and they just turned up and enjoyed it all. But so that panel is going to be talking about like mass production versus like smaller production. Obviously, you can buy your miniatures from Reaper and WizKids and things like that, and now you can just pick and choose the things that you want for your table. So I'm looking forward to just getting some people around and talking about like how that might affect the way that people design games, the way that people design miniatures, the way that people design like their Kickstarters as well, because obviously sometimes you get free miniatures and things as part of your Kickstarters. So I haven't fleshed it out in full yet because I've still got a while for that. But that's the idea for that particular panel.
I will say you hit one thing on the nose is when I'm backing a Kickstarter, I tend to look at games. Those are the Kickstarters I go after: board games, RPGs. And I'm always looking at things like the stretch goals and the extra rewards. If it comes with some nice physical components, like miniatures, like special tokens, whatever, I am much more likely to back it. Yeah, much like Ron's Moor King.
Like Tomb of the Ancient Moor King, we had miniatures. That's correct. Now,
I'm still waiting on mine.
Well, they're here. We just had a restock come in, so we're ready to go. Get your butt up here so I don't have to ship them. Now, Phil, I'm going to tell you.
Yes.
I've got something very special for you here in my hand.
Goodness gracious, that looks like a Spellfire rule set to me.
It is. You're the only person in the world who really cares about this. So I'm bringing that. Oh, that's right. So. I forgot, Ed. You are on an actual Spellfire card.
Yes. I care about that.
the one.
I care about the one. Thousands. I care about the one card. Anjuli, I have a question, and there's been a recent surge on oh wait, look, Jen's drinking alcohol, getting us demonetized.
It's Lefroy. Calm down.
You need to use that to clear up that pink eye you have.
I don't have pink eye.
Okay.
What was your question?
Okay, my question is, there's a couple different versions of this out there, but you've got like Hero Forge and related companies that allow people to make their own miniatures using their creator, I'll call it. Yeah. Okay. And it did change a lot. It used to be you would sift through looking for miniature that looked close to your character. Maybe it had the right weapons. Maybe you had to modify it. Maybe you had to do this. Maybe you had to do that. Maybe the clothes weren't right. Whatever it was. And Hero Forge made that easy. It's like, okay, everybody go out. You design your miniature before you buy the STL. Let me look at it, since I'm going to be the jerk who has to paint it. And if you put too many little doodads on that thing, I'm gonna stop you, because they're just gonna break off. Yep. Because they're too small, and we're printing in 28 millimeter. But there's been a recent surge with like JujuBit, where you're basically just taking a picture, and some sort of AI generator is creating the miniature. That we've seen it on some of the sites that, I run, the TTRPG collectors discussion and barter group, where people have shown off the miniatures that they've managed to get they put a picture in, they get a miniature, and, they're in some cases pretty amazing looking. Where do you think the industry is going with the AI creation of miniatures? Now I'm saying this, Page has a very, very strict anti-AI policy. We want to protect the artists that attend, the writers that attend, across the board. But how do you see it impacting the industry you're in now?
So my manufacturer also has a very strict anti-AI. We have an initiative called Soulcrafted, and that is our way of helping protect our creators from these sites, allowing us to sort of help. So we offer like grants and things. So if people need like retraining on things, if they need new hardware and software to stay away from AI, we offer those things. We offer incentives for if they make sure that they stay away from AI, and we have people checking those things, a team of people who check miniatures. If it is found to have AI on, it is removed instantly from our site. But I think it's inevitable that people will use it, because there are people who do not understand that AI will kill artists, but I also think that they probably weren't like, from my mini factory stance, they're not our customers to begin with, because our customers are normally loyal to certain creators and artists that are on our site. So those people making them, I also think that it's not there yet. Like, they may look like, so I did a panel about this on at Gen Con on Sunday, and it was really interesting because I also had a tattooist on the panel, and she was saying how like people bring her AI art and say, tattoo this on me, but they haven't taken into account whether it can actually be tattooed or not, like if it's actually possible to get the lines and the style onto skin, because they don't know that aspect of it. And I think at the moment the same thing with AI models is that it doesn't take into account how things get printed. So whether they're resin or FDM, you have to think about angles, you have to think about what's, the sharp pointy bits and things like that, which is what a creator and artist does think about, because they have to make something that is printable repeatedly. Otherwise people aren't going to buy their things. I think it's inevitable that it's going to happen. Like, as much as I would like to see it not happen, there's going to be people that are just going to be like, there are people who just like make a pretty picture and say, hey, look, here's my flyer for my cool thing, and you say, cool, we're never going to go to that thing that you're flyering about. But I think I don't, from a work point of view, like, we're not overly worried about it, because those weren't ever going to be our customers. They weren't ever going to be people that were going to be on our site. So we haven't lost anyone, and we just want to keep our own integrity as well, and say, hey, we're here to protect artists. And so if you continue to not use AI, we will continue to promote you and help you make a sustainable business.
It's so frustrating because people immediately jump to, we want to get the results without having to have the practice and the skill and the creativity and everything like that. Because, I mean, I think a lot of times the people who would rather pay money for that sort of thing are the ones who sort of resent the idea that there are creatives who control what's going on. They're like, no, I just want the thing. I don't want to deal with the creative person who has to provide it. And it's frustrating because something like AI or automation can be used to make our lives better, but it seems to be it's actively trying to make our lives worse right now.
Yeah.
Well, as somebody who's, a high-ranking union official here in the U.S., I'm troubled by it. Because it's removing people. And when I see things like, the mayor of New York City, God bless him, he's brought a lot of great policies in there, but now he wants to pass a bill that'll force supermarkets to provide discounts to people who check themselves out, and as opposed to utilizing a cashier. And I think that's a slippery slope, because they're a cashier, I don't want to call it a low-level job, but it's not something that requires a college degree or an advanced degree or technical skills to become a cashier. And now we're going to be eliminating those jobs through the use of discounts. And so AI, there's a lot of problems with it, but it would seem like the 3D printing market could be impacted by it. I know that in my home game. And like I said, I have a ton of miniatures, tons and tons and tons. I don't go out looking for miniatures to paint for my players anymore. It's like, go on and use a product that's going to allow you to do that. It's just a matter of time until there's another AI there's another generator like Hero Forge that is really utilizing AI. This says, just show us a picture of what you want, and then we'll let you edit it from there. And that is, it's troubling. It really is.
Yeah, I agree. Like, AI could be used for such good, but instead they're just gonna use it to, take away from artists. And one thing that worries me, well, like you said about the cashiers, is that who's going to be looking after these people? Who's going to be supporting these people who now can't get a job because, that's an additional, like.
Whether it has the result or not, I think part of the idea from Mandami is the idea of, by forcing the grocery store to give a discount, they're hoping that people will actually, that the supermarkets will rehire cashiers because they'll make more money. I don't know if that's going to work, but if they're like, well, you don't have to give a discount if you have cashiers. I was just in a grocery store today and it was pretty busy, and it was frustrating because there was only one cashier open. There's like 10 cashier checkouts and there's never more than one live cashier. And most of the stores around me also don't want you to check out at self-checkout if you've got more than like 10 or 15 items or whatever. It's kind of like the express lane. And it's frustrating because unless you go to Trader Joe's or Costco, there aren't any living cashiers. Whereas those places, they're all over the place. It's like, how do they do it? It's like, well, They have a different emphasis.
And the thing about having, going to a human being rather than self-checkout is, it's accessible. Like, I don't know. I am not good with technology. I cannot see to check myself out using self-checkout. So for me, that's not accessible. If that's the only thing that's there, then I can't check out at all. Whether, if I go to a human, it's easier. They tell me how much it is. I pay them. There we go.
One of the things that's really funny, I know we're going down a weird non-page related thing, but like at Costco, they actually have, like when it's busy, they actually have people walking around with hand scanners, and you'll be in line and you'll be like 6th person in line or whatever, and they'll scan all your stuff. And as soon as you get up there, they're like, oh, we've already got your order. Just pay for it and go, so they get you out so fast. It's so much faster than self-checkout.
So I want to touch on this. This is my wife, Jennings here, talking about AI, about where do we draw the line with AI though. And, there's a gaming related program on YouTube called Households and Humans. And it's four or five dragons essentially playing D&D, but they're playing it as modern day. Their characters are modern day humans. And it's funny. It's funny what they do. But the entire thing is generated by AI, not the lines that's written, but the rest of it, the animation's generated by AI and things like that. So to answer Jen's question, and she continues to go on, it says the creator only uses AI for the animation because stop motion photography would be too much for him to do with a wife and 3 kids and a full-time job. Jen, I'll answer that. For Paige, as he wouldn't be on the guest list, he wouldn't be doing a presentation at Paige. That's where the line's drawn for me. You're using AI to generate cartoons, and we have artists and animators that come to Paige. We have an animator. It's a subcontractor, but who's on a monthly contract with us to do these little videos. And when we want to show how excited Neil is, we have to send it to the animator first. Or sometimes how hyped up for page Neil is. See, I got too out of control with my enthusiasm for those videos. But we pay somebody to do that, as opposed to I could throw it into Chat GTP and get it to generate a little video for me, but I don't, because that's
also it's insulting, isn't it, to the like I find the excuse, oh well, I'm busy, I've got a wife and kids and a full-time job. It's like, well then don't do it. Like, don't say, oh, I've got all these things, so I'm going to take the easy route to create this thing. And I mean, I like, for my personal, like, I just wouldn't watch it. I don't want to interact with AI art. It's not real art for me. It doesn't, like, regardless of whether like the story is written by humans, if you're going to try and, you can put up the story without using the AI art. And that's the issue for me. And if you're saying your excuse is that you're busy, so what? Everyone is busy. All of these artists are busy. Like, I don't know a lot of artists whose full-time job is just being able to produce art. That's a very lucky artist who gets to do that. Because
artist Chet Mitten,
yeah,
who's our art director. That's his job. He is a full-time artist. That's what he does.
Yep.
But Neil Matt Archibald suggests the animation in Neil could benefit from some AI enhancements. I don't know. That's mean. You're being mean, Matt. But
read the room, Matt.
Yeah, Neil is, but Neil does get hyped up.
So what's just to shift gears back to our guest, do you have any personal projects you're working on right now?
So yeah, outside of like work things, so I'm currently, I've just got really into Daggerheart. I sort of found it a couple of months ago, fell in love with the mechanics of it. I've just started writing for the first time in years, so I haven't felt the need to, or the urge to write, and so I'm currently writing a campaign from scratch in the Daggerheart, one of the campaign frameworks, which I am writing myself. I am learning to typeset, which is something, I've never even thought of doing, but I'm learning that skill as well. I'm learning how to use Affinity. I'm also doing all of the illustrations for it myself.
Oh, wow.
I don't consider myself an artist, but I can't afford to pay an artist. And as I've already said, I will not use AI. So I am drawing these things myself and setting it all out. And it's a really nice little challenge for me to like teach myself these things, because I don't get to use these things during work hours. And I have a full-time job and I have 3 dogs, Mr. Households and Humans. So I
Yeah, but they're Pembroke Welsh corgis. They're
one is a corgi. 2 are 2 whippets who have 1 brain cell between them. And,
it's interesting. I have a Welsh thing in my house as well. My wife.
I hope she is just as sassy as my Sadie.
Are you planning on publishing this, or?
I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I've got a couple of things that I've published before.
I hope we get to see it, though. At least when you get it. To the point where, a couple of friends of mine just put together a Daggerheart campaign, which is launching on Monday, I believe. Chris Perkins and Jeremy Crawford went from Wizards to work with them, and their first book is coming out, and that's a new campaign. I'm looking forward to getting that My hot
Chris
little
and Jeremy, I can also say from the last 2 weeks are also my friends.
Yeah, they
now
won't
know
actually
me.
send me a copy. I have to go out and buy the darn thing.
Yeah.
But,
They signed my Daggerheart Hope and Fear at Gen Con.
oh, so you already have it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
to wait till it ends up in my retail store, and I've been bugging them about it.
Yes, they signed it for me at the weekend. They're very lovely. Very funny. They called me they called Ross the Anjuli of the US, which was very funny.
Oh,
Rather than that, someone introduced me as this is Anjuli. She's the Ross Thompson of the UK, and Jeremy said, "I'm pretty sure I think that Ross is the Anjuli of the US." And I was like, "Yes, Jeremy is my friend."
yep. You know that
That's-
Chris is an alien, right? Okay, good.
All right. So we've got, you guys should get guide dogs. They are wonderful. I'll introduce you at Page. Aha. Oh, so that's Michael Doherty. Always good to have him on. Matt is taking shots at our friendly artists here. You see, calling Chet third tier and AI fourth tier. And Neil suggests that fifth tier Matt with poo on his shoe. So, Anjuli, there's a little bit of history with dogs at our convention.
I was thinking about wearing my pickle shirt today. I should have.
At our second convention, there was a Boston Terrier puppy.
Oh.
And its owner, Matt Archibald, didn't realize it had pooped on the floor.
Oh no.
And proceeded to walk through it on a carpeted area. So we banned Pickles from Page
Ron and I
3.
were sitting right there, and we're like, dude.
Yeah. So we banned Pickles, and there was a groundswell of support from those who wanted to free Pickles. In fact, random signs began popping up all over the convention center at Page 3, wanting to let Pickles into the convention. So, yes. So Matt suggests there's a Pickles kissing booth at Page 4 and get poo on your shoe, too. So,
Oh, there you go.
Jen, any other questions for Anjuli? I know you had a few.
Yeah. So you do start playing, and
Yes.
I'm huge into theater of the mind, obviously, because of my visual impairment. How do you make that experience immersive for online play?
I think it's a lot of sort of knowing the story before you go in, and lots of explanations of what you're seeing. Mainly what I play on Start Play is I do like learn to plays for Daggerheart and things like that. And Daggerheart is really designed at not just me, the GM, telling you what the world is, but getting you involved in the building of that world and then fleshing out from there. So there's a lot of what do you see, what do you smell, what do you hear in certain scenarios, and then building from that to allow the players to help to facilitate the creation of the scene and of the world that you're building. And that's what I try and do even when I'm not doing Daggerheart, is I'm asking questions of my players, again, sensory things as well, like, you know, what would they expect to hear if we go into a tavern? You know, what sounds are they, what are they hearing, what are they smelling? Like, I might say, oh, there's a guy in the corner, he's looking at you. What does he look like? You know, how do you expect him to talk to you? And get them to feed me information, which I can then help to build and flesh out that story. And it allows them to also feel like they're part of that world building as well. That's my favorite ways, like, to get theatre of the mind, is to be lazy and get everyone else to do the work for me.
Well, that's good because everyone contributes then.
Exactly, yeah, and then everyone feels like they're part of the story. And I always make sure to make notes so that when we come back later, you know, that guy that they've seen at the tavern and they've described to me might be nothing at the moment, but I might bring him back later on, and they'll feel less likely to just go murder hobo on him because they've helped to create him.
Yep. So I also heard that you might run some Daggerheart stuff at Page.
Yes, yeah, I'm going to do some learn to play Daggerheart sessions for anyone that's interested in learning. We're going to go through the quick start adventure, which is a really great guide for if you've never played Daggerheart before, because it builds in all of the mechanics as you move through the story. So we'll learn all of the mechanics and we'll hang out. I've got some models 3D printed for it, so there will be stuff at the table as well, rather than just little standees. I'm going to try and get down to. They've had amazing these little wooden standees and wooden bits for San Diego Comic-Con and Gen Con, and I'm going to see if I can get them to send me a set that I can use at shows traveling around. And I'm going to be 3D printing a nice Daggerheart GM screen and things like that, so it'll be a nice setup at the table. And I'll see if I can get some extra bits from the Darrington Press team to give out to people at the table as well. That's going to be my next thing, so hopefully I'll be able to give people away some class packs and things like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now 3D printing. You do know that the Philadelphia Area Gaming Expo has a pretty famous mascot, right?
Yes.
Phil E. Cheesesteak. What can we do to get my mini factory to help us put together a new STL file?
So I can introduce you to some of our creators. So My Mini Factory doesn't itself, we don't create files. We obviously have our creators. We have 600 plus creators. And anytime anyone is interested in making STL files, we are able to introduce them to one of these 600 people. So if there are particular artists that you like on there, that you like their style, let me know and I can do introductions for you. That's very, very easy. We did the same thing. So Paizo wanted official miniatures for Pathfinder and Starfinder. We introduced them to Titan Forge to do those for them, and we've got some other ones, big names that we're not allowed to announce yet, that are coming up with some of our other creators within the TTRPG space. It's one of the main reasons that I go to shows is to introduce publishers and that to My Mini Factory and talk about ways that we can bring miniatures to their ranges if they haven't got them already. So at Gen Con, Chaosium showed off the first official Call of Cthulhu minis at their stand. They had a small batch of ones that we've helped create, which was very exciting. And they'll be going live later, probably at the end of the year, with digital files as well.
Phil, have we heard of Chaosium before? Is that a new company?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about that. I've got to rack my brain. It's
Yeah, they're pretty new.
Yeah.
Yeah. The CEO there saw me with an Orc's Nest shirt on a couple of years back. A game shop in London there, the old game shop in London, and he stopped me.
I know Orc's Nest, yeah.
Yeah, he stopped me at Gamehole Con. They still won't come to Page, but that's okay. No hard feelings or anything.
If I'll tell Neil that I'm going, and then maybe he will.
We'll see. We'll see. We have the other big publishers, with the exception of WotC, but just I don't know. Are they going to be a Page? Neil asks. No. The short answer is no.
I think they do their own con.
They do have they have a Chaosium con.
They do a bunch of cons, including a bunch of much smaller shows than ours. So, no sour milk here. But maybe we'll get Rick to pull his get his head on straight there. Now, Oh wow, the chat is just like there's lots going on in the chat. I can't keep up with it. Okay, I know it's late there.
It's fine.
I know you're suffering from convention crud.
Yeah, that's the worst. It's just back to back conventions, Comic Con plus Gen Con with like no stop in between them. It's just
What are the stores like over there? Like the game stores compared to
yes.
here?
So I haven't been to a lot of game stores in the US. I've been to a couple in San Diego and in Las Vegas last time, and the time before I was over. So comparing, so we have ours are more like franchisey ones. Like there's a couple of like older ones. So like Orcs Nest that was mentioned in London is a small, because obviously London real estate is expensive.
It's
It's
tiny. It's
it's
tiny.
tiny but tall.
Yeah.
Very, very tiny.
Yeah, a lot of our gaming stores are literally just to sell games. Like that, you do get there's been like a little uprise of like gaming cafes which have a small area for food and sitting down games. But they during COVID we lost a lot of them. So Nottingham used to have quite a lot, and now it's only got a couple left because they just didn't make it through the lockdown. And then obviously, you know, we also have Warhammer World and things like that. So that does bring people for gaming, but only if you play Warhammer. I think the difference is that they feel very much more like a franchise, less family like business. Like the ones that I've been to in San Diego felt like they've been run by the same people for a really long time, with really loyal customers and are run by, like, I think you call them mum and pop stores.
Yeah, that's what they're called.
Whereas here, it's like it's a business. The person who runs it has bought into a franchise, or it doesn't have that same feel that they've been around forever, because they haven't.
Right.
Yeah, like it's one of the things that we just don't have a history for. America beats us in history. Strange.
So well, you know, it happens. It happens. You know,
Yeah,
this year is the 250th year of when we declared independence from over there. So,
but you guys have all the cool castles.
We do have all the cool castles, so that's fair. Yeah.
Now Jen's drinking clear alcohol. She's moved to vodka.
No, it's water.
Lies. You know, to steal a line for Braveheart, those were lies when you first wrote them. Now I've got a couple questions for you, and we're going to put you on the hot seat because we always give away a $25 Troll Lord Games website gift certificate, and we're going to ask you a few things. One, have you subscribed to our YouTube channel, Anjuli?
No, I was just thinking I've got to do that.
Hold on. We're gonna
just hit the
I
button.
can do it now.
we're gonna make sure you do it. Nothing. You know, no harm, no foul. As long as you're doing that. Here you go. I'm gonna. There you go. Oh, she's putting it on her phone.
I'm doing it.
You can hear your little button falls.
Boom! Did it.
All right. That's
Subscribed.
Now,
Oh, look, there's my face.
now, we're going to ask you a trivia question.
Oh no.
And if you get it right, we're going to pick a random person in the crowd. I think tonight, or not so random. Hold on. Let me get rid of the spammer in our thing here. We are going to select DLSTC is going to win a $25 Troll Lord Games gift certificate.
Okay.
If you can answer the question correctly.
Okay.
Okay. Are you ready?
Okay. Yeah.
Name one other guest coming to Page or who has been to Page in the past, who flies in from Europe for the convention?
Oh my goodness. Okay, give me a second. I'm not cheating at all. Shut up.
You're going to have to go to last year's website because he hasn't been announced for this year yet.
Okay.
Ooh, I think I know who it is.
I'll give you a hint. He's from Sweden.
Oh,
Yep, I know who it is.
I don't know people from Sweden.
He's an award-winning. I believe he's an Emmy-winning person from Sweden, if I remember correctly.
Is he from like Free League?
He's not.
Oh, they're the only Swedes I know that have won
That's
any.
not true. He's done work for Free League. He's done work for Free League. That's not true. He has a famous Swedish YouTube program, I believe, or a podcast.
I think it's a podcast.
It's a
It is.
podcast.
I interviewed him last year.
No, it's not Prince Andrew.
He's not Prince anymore. We got rid of that.
You got rid of that?
Yeah, we're very good when that happens. We say no, you get that title taken away from you, sir. You're just
He got
Andrew
Epstein.
and nobody talks to you no more.
Yeah,
Oh,
he got it.
no.
He got Epsteined. Exactly.
And we take that seriously here in the UK. Punish people. I actually have absolutely.
The answer. Matt Archibald suggests it's a Swedish chef from the Muppet Show.
I wish.
His name is just the Swedish Chef.
No, it's not him.
Oh, please let me say it.
Well, I think Anjuli.
Andre Lundstrom.
Andreas
Yes.
Lundstrom.
I do know who that is.
So Andreas Lundstrom, that is correct, and he will be back with us this year at Page, and he's also going to be taking part as one of the interviewers in the interview booth.
I've actually been on Sweden Rolls.
Have you?
I've spoken to him.
I got to
that's
tell you,
his show.
then this is shameful that it took you that long. Let's.
Well, it was like
I
2020 it
I
was
am
in
one who's
2017.
always honest and holds our guests accountable.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
It was like 9 years ago.
9 years ago. Oh my God!
Wow.
That's a long time for me.
Wow.
What?
Ed was
It's a-
still in high school 9 years ago.
I was not still in high school 9 years.
No, Ed. I think Ed was still in high school. Weren't you?
Yeah,
9
maybe.
years ago.
Maybe.
Was Ed in high school 9 years ago? No. No way.
Probably not.
Yeah, class of 2017.
So I have to ask this. What's your favorite breakfast?
What's my favorite breakfast?
Yeah.
Oh, how interesting. So I am coffee is mainly my breakfast. I wake up, I have 2 cups of coffee, and that's me starting my day. And then around 11 o'clock, I like to have a fried egg sandwich. That's my.
Okay.
But the last couple of weeks, I've been having the breakfast burritos in San Diego because that's
Yeah. Well, breakfast burritos are good.
yes.
I-
But yeah, at
I-
home it's coffee.
So when I was living in England, I used to love getting English breakfast now and then, but usually I was studying theater, so I'd have to get up pretty early to go in to Leicester Square to get like half price tickets and such. So I'd often skip breakfast, but then on the way back, stop at like a chip shop for
Yep.
something. But
Do you have a chip sandwich?
I actually loved those sorts of things and everything. But an English breakfast is something that I enjoy.
It's
Chip.
a lot.
chip
Like I
buddy.
might I will have an English breakfast if I'm away on a holiday or in a hotel,
Yeah.
and it's like then I'll enjoy an English breakfast. But it's
And
too
then-
much to make.
And then you don't
myself
need
enjoy it.
lunch. Have an English
Yeah.
breakfast and skip lunch.
Yeah.
Now I have the website up here in the background.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was just looking at that. Kill me with those flash sales.
Yeah. Well, summer sale is coming soon, so end of the
You know,
couple of weeks' time. That's the thing that's on my
hey,
radar the
what,
most at the moment.
what's
We're
the?
gonna we're gonna
Sorry. Go
put
ahead.
we're gonna put Anjuli on the spot here. Is there any discount code that we should be sharing with our viewers tonight?
So we don't do like so apart from the summer sales and that, because each of our creators is has their own store, we don't have like a site-wide discount because each creator has to consent to the sale. So come the summer sale, a lot of creators will be in it, but you'll notice that not all of them will be. So for the moment, you can share this one for Artisan Guild, and that will go over the weekend. That will finish on Monday afternoon, UK time.
I'll ask another question then. What are some hidden gems on the site that maybe people aren't aware of?
So I love the creator called Found Family Adventure Crafts. She makes the best, cutest things ever. She made a purple worm, but it was a Furby, so it's the Furple worm. It's the
So it's
best.
Found
Oh,
Family
that's cute.
Adventure
Found
Crafts.
Family Adventure Crafts.
4 words.
Adventure Crafts, I think, is one word.
Okay. Because I'm on the site right now looking.
Let me.
I see like demonic familiar, and that's
I'm concerned about this. So DLSTC says, I emailed Ron earlier today. He was very kind. That I don't know. Nobody's
Fake-
ever
fake
accused
news.
me of that. Nobody's ever accused
Fake.
me of that before, but okay.
Yeah. Fake news.
Found Family Adventure Crafts. My wife is a big fan of Scotch eggs.
love Scotch eggs.
Yes,
I'll have to make some for you guys.
they are so good.
Oh, don't say that. Jen will have you come into the house.
That's funny. I do Found Family Adventure Crafts, and I end up with Crippled God Foundry for some reason.
Oh, that's not correct.
No. Well, I'll have to poke at it on my own
They
time.
make really, really cute stuff. I really, really love. The Furple worm is the first thing you see there. But they have like a puppet beholder, and there is a little mind flayer taking his little intellect devourer for a walk. And they just make really cute things. I'm hoping to maybe set them up with 9th level to make some kobolds, because kobolds are their thing. Make them some little kobolds for 9th level, which is one of my own personal projects. It's got
That's great.
yeah.
I think I found it. I found the Furple worm.
Yes.
Okay.
I love Furbies. Like I just love them so much. I've got so many of them, and I've got artwork for them, and I printed this Furple worm about this big on my FDM printer, and I love it.
I am going to mark them as a favorite. I'm going to come back and browse them.
Yeah. I'll tell you, you're going to love one of our vendors that we have at Page every year. It's a woman by the name of Ronnie DeFalco, and she runs a company called Ron D Productions, and she's a mascot and puppet builder. That's what she
made
does.
Gritty, right?
She did. She was the designer of Gritty, the Philadelphia Flyers mascot, but she also did the big Phil puppet we have.
Mm-hmm.
So
Is she the one whose puppets got a little bit
rude?
Yes.
Yes, there was a situation. Well, Anjuli, let's get your take on this. Okay. We're going to find out all about Anjuli today. So we have a pretty strict code of conduct to make sure everybody feels welcomed and nobody feels insulted. and we received a complaint that somebody who went by the puppet stand, and of course there's a couple of puppeteers behind there with puppets, that the puppet made fun of the person's hairstyle. So I went over and I said, hey, and, I pulled the puppeteer from behind the stand.
Not shouting at the puppet.
And I said, this got a report that you insulted a lady's hairstyle. And he goes, well, no, I didn't do that. And he holds up the puppet. The puppet did it. And he was serious, like dead serious. Like it was the puppet did it. And I'm like, so should I tear the puppet off your hand, light it on fire, and throw it outside? Because that's the, expulsion is what happens if you break our policies. Like, well, no, don't do that. And I'm like, I said, well, here's the deal. You are responsible for your puppet, because he just wasn't getting it. Like, you are responsible for your puppet, just like you would be responsible for your dog, Matt Archibald, and you would be responsible for your child, right? You're responsible for your puppet. Should we have ejected the puppet or the puppeteer or both from the convention?
I mean, ejecting the puppet would have been very funny, and I would have enjoyed that.
I believe the comment was he asked the woman if she lost a bet when she got her hair cut.
That's mean. I don't. And I mean, it obviously upset her enough to complain.
I'm pretty sure her name was Karen. Yes.
So I don't know. I would be like, okay, if he was willing to apologize, then I wouldn't. But if he stood by, and it obviously upset her, and sometimes it's not what you say, it's how the person takes said comment. That is the thing. If he didn't want to apologize, then I would have expelled both of them separately. And then if he did, then I would let him stay.
Evicting people for making fun of a haircut sounds like some sort of British nonsense to me. Oh my goodness.
I disagree. If you've said something and it has upset someone, it doesn't matter if it's about their hair, it's about their dress, it's about the way that they talk. They might have an accent. Then it doesn't matter how you meant it. It's how the person took it. And if you can't then say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it that way, or I didn't, I meant it to be funny, satire, etc. That's one thing. But if you double down on it and you don't take responsibility for upsetting another human being, then it doesn't matter if you think it's nonsense or not. It matters what that person thought.
The venue matters too. I mean, that's essentially, while it's technically private, it's a public space. It's not like you're going to a comedy show to see an insult comic.
Exactly. Whereas, if you're going to see satire, you're going to a drag show, you expect to get picked on a little bit by the drag queens. That's part of the fun.
But here you're shopping.
Well, Phil, when you used to perform in drag shows, were you attacking the crowd?
Only if that particular show was advertised as such.
That's good to know. What was your stage name? Was it Philomena? Was that your?
Miss Philly.
Ah, Miss Philly. Okay.
I'd pay good money to see that.
It just went on. Amazingly, it just went on the schedule for you, Jen.
All right.
All right. So, questions from the audience for Anjuli before we let her go to sleep.
Oh, now she's going to go get breakfast.
I see now.
Yes.
I see
4 a.m. Let's go.
I see eye boogers beginning to form. They're forming, just like the ones under Pinko's mask. There, she's got
Oh,
pink
stop
eye.
it.
She made me check her eyes
You
before
wanted
the
to
show because her husband was saying she had pink eye.
He's kidding with me.
Phil Wirt has never made fun of someone's hair, though.
Yeah, because I don't have any.
Speaking of Scottish eggs,
Scotch eggs.
all right.
Yeah.
So, any questions for Anjuli before we let her go to sleep and dream about tea and fish and chips and stuff?
Chip butties and tea.
Chip buddies, beautiful with brown sauce.
Oh no, just a bit of butter and it's fine.
Ugh.
You ruined Phil. You ruined the mood.
Sorry,
I just don't
I
like.
love
I don't
brown
like
sauce.
sauces. So brown sauce, ketchup, things like that. No,
Oh,
I'm not a fan.
oh goodness,
I used to
yeah.
like it when the sweets trolley would come through and they'd have a giant thing of trifle and just a big spoon. Here you go.
Yeah. Oh, God, I
Oh,
love
you-
trifle.
you
It's
get
been a
that?
long time since I've had trifle.
She's like, yeah.
Yeah.
To get my mom to make a trifle next time I
It
go
was
see
a
them.
very, very, that was very aggressive. That was, Neil wants to know what brown sauce is.
It is a
HP
brown sauce. It's a little bit spicy. I think it's got some Worcestershire sauce in it.
It's a little like A1.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Correct. Yeah. Yes.
Not
exactly.
exactly.
It's not.
It's good on
Not as vinegar.
bangers,
Yeah. Good on chips.
Yeah,
good
fish
on
and chips.
Well, chips
lots of
you want
things,
curry.
yes.
I like gravy sauce but also I like mushy peas with mine.
Yes. Mushy peas.
Yeah,
yes,
people
that's
in
my
America
favorite.
don't know what mushy peas are. They just think they're soft
Yeah.
peas.
They're so
Is that
good.
like cream?
I just
Are they
cream peas
actually?
or
Are
something?
they actual peas?
It's a very
Are they
particular type
actual
of pea.
peas?
They're peas.
So it's not like a garden
Yes,
pea.
yes.
It's a particular, almost like a broad bean, almost.
It
But not.
sounds disgusting.
And you just
we
heat
have to
it up
move on.
until it goes mushy with a bit of butter and then a bit of mint. Oh.
Don't you also put a little cream in there sometimes?
Sometimes I don't personally, but yeah, you can just a little bit of water and butter in there, and then it thickens up, and it's
I love
Delicious.
mint. Mint's awesome.
minty mushy
So
peas.
good.
Oh. And bird's custard is
Mother-in-law style brown sauce packets from our Dublin motel.
who meant stole.
Yeah. Now, Anjuli, I have one question for you. Matt Archibald says mushy peas is pretty disgusting.
Matt, you're not reading the room right today at all.
Nope.
Just like
Ah,
every
Matt,
comment is a
come
fail.
on.
So I've got a question for you as a citizen of Britain.
Yes.
I am actually a recognized laird in Scotland.
Ah.
My wife purchased a 2x2 square of Scottish land,
Oh man, you fell for it.
and I have a certificate which deems me a Scottish lord because even though my last name is Meister, my father was adopted. And it turned out I knew what my one side of the family was. It was all Italian. But I had no idea what the other side was going to come up. And after years and years of making fun of the Scottish, it turns out I'm 50% Scottish. So now I'm a Scottish lord. Do you have to curtsy when you see me, or
Well,
like?
see, I own a bit of the moon, so I'm actually a Martian.
Oh.
No.
No, you own a bit of the moon.
Yeah, apparently.
A bit of the moon, but a Martian would come from Mars.
Oh yeah, not Martian, a Moontian.
Well, there's a Martian colony on the moon.
Yeah,
You know,
that's so. I'm
much
actually part of a very ancient race, and therefore you should curtsy to me.
A very ancient race of Moonshins.
Yep.
Okay. Well, we'll see how that works out
they
there.
call them
Paige.
moonshiners.
China's.
Moonshiners. Yeah.
I-
Well, actually, that was Ryan Morgan. He from West Virginia. He's already checked out for the evening. No, we're not getting into Scottish sheep jokes, Matt Archibald. We're not doing that. Okay. Any other questions for Anjuli before we let her go to sleep? Speak now in the chat or forever hold your peace.
I just want to thank her for coming on because 5 hours ahead is
She's
a
a
lot.
she's
Yeah,
a
it's
warrior. She sent
10
me a
past
note.
4.
I'm sick. I'm sick, and it's 2:30 in the morning. And I said, "Well, does it mean you don't want to come on?" And she said, "No, I'll come on." But
You
know,
have
I'm
a
really
lot
sick,
of
and it is
determination and
2:30.
drive.
Yes,
That's awesome.
I agree. My wife says you are a Moonie.
Mooney. That's
Do you
me,
know what
yep.
a Moonie is?
No.
They're these. I think they're Koreans. I want to say they're
You mean
Koreans.
like a Moomin?
They don't have to be Korean. It's
but I think
basically
it's based on Korean stuff, right? Because that's why they're Moon, because the Reverend Moon, right? Not Keith Moon, like Moon from Korea, and they sell flowers on street corners and some odd things. So
That sounds about right for me. Yep, I am an
Right.
odd thing.
all right, so we're gonna leave you with one thing.
Okay.
One thing. Do you know who Henry Winkler is?
Oh
Yes.
no.
Oh no, come on.
He's every time.
Do you know who it? You
I
know
do
who
know
that-
who Henry Winkler is.
Did you hear he got arrested this week in
No.
here in the U.S.? Yeah, the FBI arrested him for, he was apparently involved in some sort of financial scam. The FBI are calling it a Fonzie scheme.
Yes, exactly.
You've killed me.
Yes.
That
Yes.
that joke is so old. You need to put it to pasture, Ron.
No way.
Yeah.
It's like fine wine. It just keeps aging and getting better. All right, Anjuli, thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you
Thanks
for
for having
being
me.
where you are. We'll try to get you on one more time before the convention, maybe at an hour that's reasonable.
Yeah, I can show the model that I'm
For you.
painting then, and then
Yeah.
That would be.
I'd love to
wonderful.
talk
Let's
with
do it.
you too because I love theater of the mind. That's all I do.
sweet. Yeah, let us. Yeah, hit me up on socials. People want to
Okay.
find me as well. I'm Geek Girl Bookworm everywhere.
All right.
Yeah, you can find me there.
All right. Well,
Oh,
thank
yeah,
you.
we should talk. Yay.
Thank you very much for coming on tonight, and we will get you on before the show. But we're excited. I think you're going to be an important part of the show this year, and certainly bring a lot of value and perspective to Paige. And I for one appreciate that.
So excited. Thank you for asking me to be a special guest, and I'm really looking forward to it. I've got lots of things going on with it, so I'm going to be busy for the whole weekend. But as I normally am, I never relax at a con. I'm always doing things. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm.
Well,
very much looking forward to it.
that's good, because we're total slave drivers over our special guests. It's incredible. I mean,
Yep.
if you haven't met Jen Glazer before, she's pretty mean. Like, she'll stay on you. But, all right, we're gonna let you go. Have a good night. Thank you so much for coming on and toughing it out. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Right.
Night.
Okay, she's a delight, isn't she?
Oh
She's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, no,
I can't wait to-
absolutely
Yeah.
I
awesome.
can't wait to see her seminars.
Yeah, no, they're going to be outstanding. And, it was funny. She and I were friends on Facebook, and I just, one day, I said, let me, there's just a lot of positivity coming through on her posts, and would see her at Gen Con and San Diego Comic Con and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, let me look her up. I'm like, I think she'd make a good special guest. And we rolled that out. So that'll be good. But today was a big day for Paige, was it not there, Philberto?
That's right. Today was the first official day that some of our badge holders had the opportunity to choose their game, the games, events, or whatever they were interested in. And that's pretty exciting. So and I was seeing people posting on the Discord about it, or and Neil, I think, had mentioned it earlier in the broadcast this evening that he had gotten to get into a few games, and I believe he had mentioned he's getting into your game, Jen. He had typed that out,
nice.
so it looks like he's going to be one of your players. Yeah. So the event registration season is basically now started officially, and so anyone out there, either on the stream right now, or you're going to catch the stream later, and you're still kind of on the fence about even coming to Page, well, you're gonna miss out pretty quickly, because now the events are going to start getting scooped up. And so it's time to grab a badge. Those of you that already have a badge, you want to make sure that you know what date and time your badge corresponds to, so that you, of course, can do the same thing.
There are still a very small handful of gold badges available. So if you want to select your events next Friday and have a shot to get into some great games before they all get scooped up, grab a gold badge. And if you have another badge type and want to upgrade to a gold badge, we can do that administratively for you, and it will have the system charge you the difference. But in addition to all the gold badge events that you would have access to and been able to choose your events before other people, gold badge holders actually gain access to the Wednesday night Conan the Barbarian movie screenings. So, which is going to be a lot of fun this year. Another thing I want to talk about is, we haven't done a lot of live plays at Page in the past. However, if you look this year, there are several live plays on the schedule, including two, not one, but two Conan the Barbarian live play events with some pretty big names in them. Jim Zub is running one of those events. Matt John is running the other. But you've got Elisa Teague in one of them. You've got Tony Winslow Brill in one of them. And then you have other folks that are real Conan specific folks, like Jeff Shanks and Matt Curley from the Conan the Barbarian, official Conan the Barbarian channel. Of those, Professor Dungeon Master is running a live play, and he's not doing it with special guests. You, if you're in the audience for when all our seminars and live plays are free to watch, if you're in the audience, you could get selected to play in his live play on Saturday morning. So that's on the schedule. And then there's on Friday night, there's a live play with DJ Johnson's folks in the theater troupe from South Carolina. So yeah, there are several choices there if you're in the live plays. There are also a a lot of demonstration and learn to play events going on the schedule now from our new partners at the Banish Zone, who have their own miniatures area. In fact, it's most of the miniatures area is theirs, and this put a bunch of learn to plays for Marvel Protocol on the schedule. But not only that, they're going to be running 40K and Star Wars and several other games that I still haven't gotten on the schedule yet, and they'll all be absolutely free to jump into. And then, of course, we have our Down the Dark Stairway mega event. We have some great charity events on the schedule this year. You can play with Professor Dungeon Master in an event that will directly benefit our gamer assistance program. There are only 8 seats available for that. Jump on that. There are still a few Frank Menser seats in his 4 games. He's running 4 games at Page. There's still some seats available there. And, that's a chance to play with a legend. And, Frank's a real treasure if you want to get into there. I'm hoping that we're going to have Zeb Cook's games on the schedule by Friday. Zeb, we've been beating the bushes for him and Harold Johnson's events. They're a little late, but they should be on the schedule for those with gold badges. And the first game to sell out, who do you think the GM for the first game to sell out was? And keep in mind, only 24 people selected their games today, but one of the games sold out specifically. Any guesses?
I'm trying to think who submitted. I think
I know.
Sly Flourish's Shadow Dark game.
That makes sense.
That was the first one to sell out. And, I can tell you that a bunch of other games will be sold out like within seconds next Friday. When 200 people come crashing in and start selecting games, they're going to be gone. So, like I said, if you take one thing away from tonight, other than Anjuli Smith is delightful, if you want a gold badge, there's still time to get one. Or if you bought a lesser badge, a VIG badge, or a 4-day badge, and you want to upgrade to a gold badge, there's still time to do that. Just reach out.
I have a question for next year, Ron.
Yeah.
Is it going to be possible for people to purchase supporting patron badges? Or are they all going to be gone because they get first dibs?
Well, the way it'll work is that the people who have supporting patron badges will be able to re-up their badges first. Now, whether we expand the number of supporting patron badges for next year or not, that remains to be seen. I think there's something to be said for a limited entry badge. It's not just about, getting people to lay down a lot of money to get that big time badge. They're not as important if there's 500 of them. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see what the demand is. People are demanding we free up some more. Maybe we'll free up another dozen or two. All right. What else, Phil?
Let's see here. We're really gonna get into the weeds here with organizing in the next couple of months as the fall starts to come our way here. I just, like I said at the beginning, I was just at Gen Con last week, and I got a chance to talk with a lot of our existing special guests. I got a chance to touch base with some of our attendees. And I also got a chance to make some new connections with people. And this is just for general knowledge, the folks out there watching this, who I was introduced to for the first time, who were smaller content creators and smaller publishers. And like I told Ron, like 9 times out of 10, people knew who we were, had heard of Paige, and had really great things to have to say because they had heard things, they had heard real good things, and they were extremely excited to heavily consider attending and seeing what all the hubbub is about. So it was a really good feeling to know that, Paige, as it grows, for those of us that, kind of like live, eat, and breathe it, to the information that's out there in the wild about the show, and going to something like Gen Con and meeting people from literally all around the world, and them having not only heard of the show, but had heard positive things about the show, was a testament to all the hard work that we put into this thing. So that was pretty exciting stuff. I mean, at least I felt. Yeah, I think it's if you're not already excited, I think it's time to get excited, because we're less than we're 5 months away, something like that. Clock's ticking. So
I'm excited.
Me too. I got to get some work done.
Yeah.
All right. And just breaking news, Zeb Cook's games will be on the schedule within the hour.
Oh, good.
All right. So if you are still on the call here or on the show, and you're a supporting patron, and you still have some things to flesh out in your schedule, maybe you need to burn the midnight oil this evening.
Actually, as the show's been going on, supporting patrons have been checking in with their events. So yeah. Okay. What else, folks? Any other questions?
I don't have anything else. I don't know if the other two do or not.
I have a question for Ed.
Yeah.
Did you happen to review my submission for
I
the
am
Book of
working on
Encounters?
it this weekend, definitely. I had some surprising employment things coming up this week. Nothing final yet, but yeah, it kind of pulled me away from everything else.
Ah, well,
So,
that's good.
yeah.
That's good.
We'll see. Yep.
Yeah. And Ed, I'm going to try to poke myself this week to finalize my submission for the Book of Encounters, because I do have one about 3/4 of the way finished.
Well, if you can get in a draft,
my
it's okay to revise it afterwards.
Yeah. Well, I still have to write the
Yeah.
last bit, the last bit of it, but the map is done, and a lot of it is, the map is done, the idea is done. It's just a matter of
Awesome.
finishing the writing. So, but anyway,
All right.
other than that, I don't know. And remember this, folks, too. To Ron's point, there's some folks that are still going to be getting their games to us.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to be put on the schedule. So fear not. If you are someone who, this happens at every gaming convention. I mean, look at what happened. If you didn't know what happened at Gen Con, a month before the show, Wizards of the Coast dropped like dozens and dozens of events a month before Gen Con. And so that was a fantastic opportunity to get into some absolutely bangers of events after all of the Dungeon Crawler Carl events had been sold out immediately, seconds after tickets went live and so forth. So, you fret not, because we will be trickling out things as they come in from folks that these are just world-class events that you're going to want to be paying attention to the event schedule pretty regularly as you're fleshing out your schedule, because there are going to be some absolute hidden gems buried in there that are going to fly under the radar, and there are going to be some very memorable events. So keep your eyeballs peeled to the screen and to the event schedule, because we're going to keep getting the important stuff in there as it comes in.
One question is, when is the current deadline to get games in? Do we have one yet?
For just the general one?
Yeah, to submit events.
It's currently October 1st. However, that could close sooner depending on the number of events we have in, because we're over 700 events in the system now.
Right.
And, there's only so many that the convention can effectively hold. You know what I mean?
We don't want people. We don't want empty tables. Yeah. Schedule too many events. By the way, if you are nervous about submitting an event, you're like, oh, gee, would anybody like it? Check out our Discord channel. Check out our Facebook page. You can go in there and say, hey, I want to run 3rd edition D&D. Is anybody going to be interested? You can do that. Similarly, you can go in and say, gee, I wish somebody would run, Champions or something. Is anybody going to do that? That is less likely to get answers, quite frankly. But, you can test out the waters. But I would say also, as somebody who has traveled and run events at so many different conventions, Page is a very friendly convention to run at. People are there. They want to have fun. The space is, spacious. Phil, when he sets up the tables, he makes sure that you're going to have enough space to run your game. It's going to be, it's a convention center. It will be a little bit loud, but we don't have super noisy areas because the convention ceiling is so high. So it's if you've never run a game at a convention, this is a really good one to start out at.
That's right. Everything Ed said is completely true. So, yeah. Well, it's coming up on 11:30 here East Coast time. So we've been on now for 2 hours. Is there anything else we want to leave? Any other bits of information, or are we ready to put it to bed?
I think we're ready to put it to bed. We'll let Jen take us out.
Okay. Well, I appreciate everyone listening. Be sure to check out our, our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Ron, what's coming up next week?
Next week we have Jeffrey Shanks. I know that, who is a very famous Robert E. Howard expert and historian. And our other guest is somebody interesting as well. Give me 1 second. Oh, let's see. Almost found it. Oh, it's Stan. Yeah. We have cartoonist and illustrator Stan and Jeffrey Shanks on next week.
Well, and also, Ron, you're going to be on Stan's show this Wednesday, right? Because last Wednesday we had some technical issues.
Yes. No, I'll be on there this week. Stan had a power outage. Yeah. So I wasn't able to get on there.
That's a fun show, folks. It's improv cartoony, right? Where you and Stan talk and he draws pictures.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to draw pictures pointing to our Kickstarter. Speaking of the Kickstarter. So yeah, I mean we're going to be talking about the Kickstarter and page next week, and of course, Stan did a lot of the illustrating for that Kickstarter. So
Very
Great.
excited for that one too.
All right. So be sure to check that out next Wednesday. And for those of you who watch my stream on Tuesdays at 7:30, there will be no stream this week, next week. John's having a procedure done, and I need him to interact with the audience. He reads all my chats. So, I don't want to be rude and not talk with you all. So we'll table that for the following week. And have a good night. Have a good week. And I'll see you same time, same place next week.
all righty, good night, everybody.
Good night.